Kindness, honor, and trustworthiness are important aspects of society. These morals keep societies together and maintain the trust between fellow man. In a time of heightened social awareness, we tend to see more and more terrible people, so it's always a treat when we can see someone who holds on to morals and calls for society to return to them. But what happens when one of these speakers calling to return to morals isn't honorable, trustworthy, and a lot of times not even kind to their own fans and supporters? An online personality catering to the political communities of the internet since late 2016, Margaret McClenna has called for society to return to better morals. She prides herself on leading people to become more trustworthy, holding on to their promises, and generally just being better people, as we all should be. Her personal Twitter bio faintly describes her as right-wing gossip plus social media tactics, highly read ghostwriter, belly dancer in past life, now ostomy crew. Margaret began her journey into the online political community in 2016, back when she became a manager for a privilege grant, helping unfairly treated kids go to college. Unfortunately, later that year, Margaret was fired from the grant, and according to her, she did not receive pay for her work from her boss. After this incident, she became ill and bedridden in a hospital for the next couple of months. Margaret continued her online career from her hospital room, despite her condition requiring the removal of her lower intestine. Despite her poor video-making equipment, she gained the attention of quite the large fan base with her simple videos. October of that same year, Margaret established a Patreon and began raising funds. Her fans came together, raising money and sending her computer parts so that her video's quality could grow. Her fans wanted to know what she could make with the proper tools. Finally, in 2017, and free from the hospital, Margaret had built her new PC from the parts donated by her fans and funded by her Patreons. She rewarded her fans by releasing a schedule for when she would start releasing videos. It was quite ambitious for a newer YouTube channel. Her busy schedule consisted of live streaming every Monday, live streaming a game every Tuesday, publishing a video on YouTube Wednesday, and finishing her week with a game stream on Thursday. Fans, especially the Patreons paid into it, were excited to see what Margaret would do. "I wouldn't want Patreon dollars until I can get on a schedule and prove my worth." Margaret. Margaret set up a Discord channel for her Patreons as well, so that they could chat with her directly and the community could build within her small group of supporters. Things were looking up for her and her growing fan base. To the disappointment of many of her Patreons, Margaret was unable to maintain her video schedule. She failed to publish the many YouTube videos she promised, but in some people's eyes, she made it up by live streaming more often. However, this disappointment was just the beginning for the community, as Margaret failed to uphold the many promises she gave to her Patreons and fans. To her fans' disappointment again, Margaret eventually stopped reading her Discord messages, and she slowly began to split off from her fan base. Her video content declined from there, leading to just a single live stream a month sometimes. Margaret's fan base came together. They were worried for her health and well-being, considering her history in the hospital and the recent removal of her lower intestine. However, the constant Discord messages did the opposite, apparently. Margaret deleted her Discord channel suddenly in September of 2017. She claimed she deleted it because many Patreons became increasingly nosy, treating her like their girlfriend, or acting as if they were her manager. Her YouTube channel was next to go. She deleted all of her videos in protest of YouTube's unfair practices toward creators. She complained about being demonetized by the video giant, putting her videos up on Facebook and VidMe. RIP VidMe, you will always have a place in our hearts. Margaret became more and more disconnected from her community, angering her small fan base that had given her the funds to begin her internet career. In November, Margaret held her last live stream. Since then, she hasn't released any new videos or hosted any new live streams. She still hosts a small website, blogging about current political events and the such. Her fan base wanted answers, however. One of Margaret's Patreons really wanted answers and challenged her to blood sports, a live stream debate featuring 2 debaters and 2 moderators. The fans asked Margaret to participate, giving them the answers they wanted. That's when things really went downhill. Margaret vehemently refused to accept the blood sport challenge. She rebuked her challenger, accusing him of harassing and impersonating her, using his own mother's money to send her gifts, and even suggesting he was a serial killer because he supposedly lived near where several murdered women were buried in the last year. Hey man, love the show, but I'm being challenged by a guy who impersonates me, harasses me, lies about his job, says he lost his virginity to his high school teacher, uses his adoptive mom's credit to send me gifts, and lives 17 minutes from where the bodies of 4 women were dumped in the last year. Margaret. For a lot of people in the small community, this was the last straw. Margaret's claims resulted in the Bloodsport challenger being suspended from work without pay, after complaints from some of Margaret's followers began piling up against him. The way Margaret treated her challenger, who was once a big fan of hers, was a real sign of who she had become. They give to you, and this is how you give back? All they're asking you for is a 5-minute hello on Discord and a 30-minute live stream. That too much? Stefan Sertic. And some people online write me every day as if I am their girlfriend. I have good reasons to be less fully interactive. Margaret. A few fans talk to you too much, and that's why you can't give the rest of them 35 minutes out of the week, and you're the victim here? Stefan Sertic. While Margaret calls for better morals in our time and age, perhaps she should begin by following better morals herself. Margaret has not kept to the promises she made to her Patreon nearly a year ago. When her community came to her with supportive questions, she lashed back out at them, spreading rumors and damaging one of her fans' life. And in the end of it all, she acts as the victim, because a few of her Patreons may have treated her as their girlfriend, or had acted like a manager to her. With Margaret split off from her community so much, it's hard for her original supporters to get in contact with her and ask her to return to her original promises of creating videos and live streaming every week. Her originally promised schedule was very ambitious, so just restarting with a 1-hour live stream every week should be fair. Her fans deserve to get something in return for giving her the funds to jumpstart her internet career. Yes, Margaret McClenna had a difficult life in 2016. However, she did heal, she did make promises, and she did start an internet career that she promised she would continue. That's why her Patreons funded her. They were told they would be given more content. The Patreons didn't get as much content as they were promised, and when they even dared to ask her about it, they were attacked and harassed by her. Ironically, she claimed she was the one being harassed. All in all, Margaret's actions are unacceptable and just disappointing. As a right-wing voice on the internet, she should live by the standards she calls others to live by. She wants better morals in society, then she had better realize that she's a part of society. When you put ethics secondary, you're more likely to do it half-assed, and that's unethical. But impulses rule. Margaret. This video is not aimed to attack or insult Margaret. It is simply her original community of supporters asking for answers and trying to get back in touch with